What's going on, Dolphins fans? Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and coming up here on today's show, I have the 5 biggest Dolphins overreactions after their 26-11 loss to the Bills. I'm just going to warn you right now, today's show is going to get hot takey, it's going to get spicy, and I want every single person that comes down across this video to let me know what you're thinking in the comments. So obviously, this was a little bit better than the last time Miami went up against Buffalo. They didn't lose 35-0, but what you're going to see on today's show is the biggest, most top trending stories around the Dolphins, and then I'm going to give you my personal opinion on them. The first one coming up here is Tua Time over yet? Because I saw it last year. I've seen it this season. Do I really think that Miami has done the best job possible in terms of being able to build an offensive line for Tua? No. Do I think having 2 OCs try to figure it out this year is a good thing? No. But I've also been able to watch what Tua has been able to do on the field, and the connection is just simply not there. I really think the hip injury that he suffered at Alabama has really limited his ability to try to throw the ball down the field, to put some extra zip on it, because just watch an NFL game, watch other quarterbacks play. Tua does not have the arm strength, and it is all arm right now, and it's very frustrating. Sure, the past 2 weeks before this Buffalo game, he was playing better. It was also up against the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars. If that's what you're going to try to get from somebody that you drafted number 5 overall, man, get the hell out of here. And I'm not just talking about this year, because this year is bad for obvious reasons. The team's 1-7. But then also go back to last season, where this was a 10-6 football team, and anybody that's watching the show right now, can you honestly look me in the eyes and say that Tua was better than Ryan Fitzpatrick? No, of course not. Fitzpatrick was a top 5 quarterback in terms of QBR overall. Tua doesn't have a connection with Devonta Parker. He's even struggling a little bit now with Jalen Waddle. Guess what? I don't think it's Jalen Waddle is the issue. I think it's Tua Tagovailoa. So you guys tell me, will Tua ever be a top 10 quarterback? I want you to type 1 for yes, or I want you to scroll on down in the YouTube comments right now and type 0 for no. Here's the real question. Will Tua ever be a top 20 quarterback? Because that's where I'm at right now. And if you draft somebody number 5, like that's the expectation, that they are soon to be, that they are going to be a top 10 quarterback. The fact that you took Tua at number 5, the Chargers got Justin Herbert at 6. Justin Herbert is light years ahead of Tua. And we're sitting here wondering, is he the franchise quarterback? I don't think that Tua is ever going to be the franchise quarterback. So can we finally just say Tua time is done, because I'm sick of it. Let's go to the next story here. It's around Deshaun Watson, and can the Dolphins just please finally go out and make a move for Deshaun? I can't believe I'm saying it, because I've been the guy, I'm not going to trade for somebody that's got 22 allegations against them, and that's the truth. But if Watson is willing to waive his no-trade clause for only Miami, first off, that tells me, okay, Deshaun definitely wants to come to the Dolphins. Tua, I don't believe, is the future at quarterback, and if you are looking for a top 10 QB, Deshaun is definitely that. I even made the argument that coming into this season, you could say Deshaun was a top 5 QB. Now, we'll still wait to see ultimately what happens with the overall value of a potential Tua trade, or how much it's going to cost to get Watson. But going into the season, originally Houston was looking for 3 firsts, 3 seconds, and then 2 high-level starters. That's not going to happen now. And the reason why they were looking for all that, I mean, look at these numbers here just in passing. Last season, led the NFL with 4,823 passing yards, 33 touchdowns through the air, 7 picks, and that offensive line for Houston might be worse than what Tua's dealing with and Miami's offense is dealing with right now. But then also on top of that, Deshaun can actually run. Deshaun's mobile. Tua is an absolute statue right now in the pocket, and if you ask him to roll to the right, I mean, give me a break. There's just no chance there. Deshaun last year, 444 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Watson is clearly a better player than Tua, and I don't want to sit here and watch Tua play quarterback anymore. Like, that's where I'm at this point. So should the Dolphins go out and trade for Deshaun? Guess what? We're getting hot takey. We're getting spicy. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. If you think that your team can get better in the future with Deshaun, because that's what you're hoping for right now, because this season's a wash at 1-7, I am going to go ahead and type my T for trade. Now, if you want to go ahead and bet on any NFL games this year, if you want to bet on the Dolphins, if you want to bet against the Dolphins, if you want to bet on the World Series, the NBA, you can do it all with our sports book partner, BetUS. All you got to do Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Dolphins125. It's going to get you a 125% deposit bonus. So if you put down $100, get $125 for free. If you put down $200, get $250 for free. Put down $500, get $625 for free. It's simple. It's easy. It's a lot easier than putting a table together. I can guarantee you that. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125. The next story coming up here on today's show is around... Man, it's time to get rid of Brian Flores. Fire him, get rid of him. I get that this man was in the running for Coach of the Year last year, but since 2019, he's 16-24 with this Dolphins roster. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's made some good adjustments and he's done some good things. You know what? You are right. But right now, Miami is an absolute dumpster fire. And when you really think about from top to bottom this staff, they look so out of sorts. Nobody knows what the heck to do. It's time to fire everyone and bring in a new staff. And it's for multiple reasons. I don't have a lot of confidence in this Dolphins team right now to be able to make the right draft picks going forward because you have significant draft capital the next 2 years. And I don't want you to go ahead and waste those next 2 drafts because if you do, you're in this exact same situation. You have 3 first-round picks coming up, 1 in 2022, 2 in 2023. You need to start hitting on your first-round draft picks because if you don't, that's when your teams really start to struggle. Now, sure, here's Flores' 6th first-round pick since he's taken over in 2019. Christian Wilkins, he's been a good defensive tackle out of Clemson, but 2020 has been an absolute disaster. You had 3 first-rounders, Tua, top 5. That's been a bad one. Austin Jackson, he's been terrible at left tackle. And then maybe the worst one out of them all has been Noah, alphabet of a last name, Igbenogany, because he's been a disaster at the cornerback position. And he's been bad with next to Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Imagine that. And then Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips, I believe in both of those dudes, and I want them to be able to develop. So at the end of the day, I don't want this staff drafting for Miami going forward. And if all that means is you got to move on from Flores, move on from him. Maybe you need a new GM too because Greer stinks as far as I'm concerned. Clear house, take it all down. You're 1-7. This team's a disaster right now. So what do you guys think? F for fire. K for keep. Remember, this is Overreaction Monday. I am trying to give you guys some overreactions here. So should Miami go out and fire Brian Flores, F for fire, K for keep. If they do end up moving on from him, if a trade goes down before the NFL trade deadline, guess what, y'all? We're going to be getting you a video, so make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those notifications this week. I've been saying it all week. Very important week to make sure that those notifications are on. It's literally the bell right underneath the video. Click the bell, then click all. That way you don't miss anything. Let's go to the next one. Are the Dolphins the worst team in the NFL? Ooh, man. The Dolphins, worst team in the NFL with 1 win. Coming week 1 up against the Patriots. I believe it was 17-16. But even though the Miami has been struggling, they're still not the worst team in the league. They're bottom 3, though, and I definitely think that there is a clear bottom 3 teams in the league. And anytime you're bottom 3, you never want to be in that situation whatsoever. The worst team in the league is the Detroit Lions. They're at 0-8, and I sat on a chat sports show. I'm like, even though they haven't won a game, I don't know if they're worst team. They just lost 44-6, and Jared Goff is just that entire team is a disaster. I'm pretty sure I saw Dan Campbell crying a few times this past game. The Texans, they're 1-7. They have the worst point differential in the league. The team with the second worst point differential, the Miami Dolphins, also at 1-7. Now, I'm also kind of bringing this up because, well, if Miami loses this week up against Houston, then this might be a whole nother conversation, right? I mean, the over-under in this one's 47. The Dolphins are 7-point favorites at home at Miami Gardens up against the Houston Texans. So if you guys don't have a good reason to be able to watch this one, man, this is going to be all eyes on this screen right here. It's going to be the number 1 overall pick type of game. So with that being said, do you want the Dolphins to win? I mean, obviously you're 1-7. The chances of making the playoffs are basically over, but could this be a game where it could be, instead of having the 3rd or 4th, 5th round, or 5th overall pick, what if you had the 2nd pick? What if you have a chance to get the 1st pick? Do you want Miami to win? Type W for win, or if you want them to lose, type L. The last one, is it time for the Dolphins to start selling at the deadline? I'm just simply going to sit up here and say yes, and I really think so, and this is kind of going back to getting rid of Brian Flores. Start selling some of your good players, start getting some extra draft capital, Get a new staff in there so that way when they come in and the salary cap's up next year as well, you have plenty of money, you have plenty of draft capital, and then you're ready to finally end this rebuild that's been surrounding the Miami Dolphins for what seems like a decade now. So tomorrow's video, I'm just going to let you all know, is going to be around Dolphins trade candidates. So I'm not going to tell you which players I want them to move on from. So tomorrow's video, it's going to be coming out bright and early because the NFL trade deadline is they have to get their deals done by 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to have 5 players that I think the Dolphins should try to deal before the NFL trade deadline. So make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss it.